Well, Kingston's got Hindustani, and it's exactly the same Civ matchup we saw earlier today.
That's
and
true.
Khmer really struggled there.
Yeah. Now, there were some aspects in that game where things weren't played all that well by Hera, but yeah, good point. And this is more Group C action. So, for those who've been following live, it's been Group C, and now Group C. So after this, Group C will all have been played for week number 2, and we'll have a really good idea of who's favored and who's not. But the goal for Kingston as a player who was promoted up from Gold League to Platinum this season is to probably just stay up here, right? Which means he needs to be 4th or better. And he lost 3-0 to Hera in the first round. Not something to really send the alarm bells off in his mind just yet, but I think against a player like Capoch, he's got to at least get 1 win. I think Pete Kingston has the potential to get 2, but Capoch, man, I mean, he 3-0'd Miguel, and anytime he enters a tourney, it's like his level gets higher. So it's going to be a pretty competitive series, I think.
He always shows up for the big matches, always.
Yep.
And he's never fully out of the game. You have to really work to kill him off. Kingston is looking for a woodline, or Capoch is looking for a woodline, rather.
Yeah.
And he's going to find a safer one at the back there. Maybe he could send his vills to. He's taking the straggler trees at the beginning. Now, interesting thing about this matchup, Hindustanis are going to go for scouts. And they are going to go for camels later on. Like, it'd be very strange if they went for an archer play. Do you add the barracks early if you're Capoch, or do you just house near your woodline so you can hop into it, and then play like full scouts yourself?
I'm glad you brought that up now, because it's a pretty in-depth conversation. I think what I'd like to see Capoch do is I'd like to see him just small wall towards his woodlines and wait to see if his opponent's going to add archers. Because if someone small walls and you can't really spear pressure them, you oftentimes switch early into archers. And sometimes the trap is you might have, let's say, 4 scouts, and then you start to make the archer switch. If the Khmer player realizes that, they might go 7 scouts with an upgrade. Like 7 scouts in forging, and they might snipe your archers and snipe your spearmen. So yeah, I guess like I personally would just like to see Capoch play comfortable here, play confident, go into scouts. And I think ideally he's going to want some type of lead going towards Castle Age, because Hindustani villagers only get cheaper. Their camels attack 20% faster. Like, there's just so many crazy things this Civ has. Capoch will want aggression. Another thing to mention here about this map and just remind people of is that full scouts is even more viable than any other time you've seen this map, because the stone and the elevation, it does not extend to the edge of the map. The majority of Acropolis generations over the years have done so, where you could wall to the edge of the map. But since you can't wall on that downhill slope, rock terrain, if you were to full wall the top of your base, you'd have to do a full circle, which has just not been happening. So 6, 7, 8 scouts, I think Sito has done a really good job at that, or did that one game. It's definitely viable here.
Both games he played on this map, he played really well, right? Heavy scout production as well. And if you're Capoch and you go, like you said, 7, 8 scouts, maybe get some upgrades on them, then Kingston is going to have to either match your scout number or overmake spearmen.
Yeah.
And your scouts will still be valuable in the next stage. I'm not sure his spearmen will.
Yeah, that's
so
a good
if you
point.
just keep running around, I think it plays into your favor. Also, you can get the food back pretty quickly with Khmer, assuming you have your farming eco up. Assuming this deer doesn't troll you for the next 15 years, because he's been trying to push this in.
Yeah. Hopefully Kingston won't run into the TC here. It feels pretty easy to avoid that on this map, because you know it's on the hill. And yeah, he won't. But it'll be good scouting from him to know where Capoch is taking wood, because sometimes players will start with their first lumber camp on the hill, near their TC.
Yep.
So assuming he continues to go that way, he should find out that information. And maybe Capoch quick wall? Garrison? Oh, no. Okay.
It's Capoch. He's not.
Yeah, he's
He'll
not
beat him
interested.
later.
Yeah. I'd be interested. Like, sometimes what you can do against the players who small wall is you can go scouts, but you can tower the woodline. Like, that feels like a perfect woodline to tower. So it wouldn't surprise me that much if Kingston were to maybe send 2 villagers to do that. But so
It's
far,
even got a
gonna be
little nook
scouts.
there. It's like inviting you to tower it. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and you can't really counter tower it either, because in order to range a tower back there, most likely you have to place it where your villagers are standing, and you can't surround the tower in that spot with 5 villagers. You probably only have 2, so... Yeah, Kingston's going to see the other wood line. Capoch is... Oh, nope, never mind. He's not going to see it. I think he's confused, though, because that's a new lumber camp from Capoch, so he knows there must be one out there. Capoch is up, and Capoch is actually adding a barracks, Dave, so we can make spearmen here.
That's smart. I mean, you're not fully utilizing all your civ bonuses, but you're showing that barracks to Kingston as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
Kingston will know. Maybe he just forgot that he was playing as Khmer. Maybe
first
we're
game
giving
of the
him
day.
too much credit here.
Yeah, yeah.
As he queues up Spearman, and he actually doesn't have enough wood for the stable yet. But
Damn.
the Spearman will certainly help against the stable opening here from Kingston. And
Hey.
there's the tower from Kingston instead of Capoch.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the double lumber camp on that one wood line tells you Kingston's pretty committed to that area, but he is faster with the aggression here. And there he goes. And like I said, I don't think you can easily counter tower that. And 2 villagers instead of fully committing with 4 or 5 is a really good idea. I think you could just tower it, wall it up, and then run on home. And that's denying an important resource for Capoch. And Capoch's build order just bad here if he doesn't have the scouts out yet.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny, though, man. Like, how many times do we have this story with Capoch? Someone's aggressive against him, gets a good position against him. But it feels like the longer the game goes, the stronger he becomes.
The messier the game gets.
Yep,
the
that
stronger
too.
he becomes. Like, if you're pressuring Capoch and you want to finish him off early, make sure at home you're doing all the little things, right? You're walling in your villagers so he can't get counter raids, because he will burn you. He will burn you so badly if you leave any opportunities for him. We've seen it way too many times.
That's why Capoch versus MBL produces some of the best games.
Hilarious.
Because they're
yeah.
both so good in messy situations. And normally it's one or the other. So, oh man, no small walls for Kingston. He did see the spearmen from Capoch. He didn't see the scouts. He must know they're out there, but here comes
Honestly,
that awkward
I think
army.
like once that 3rd scout is out, I think you could justify getting forging here if you have a blacksmith up from Capoch. He doesn't have it yet. That'd be really nice for the spearmen. And he's got the hill advantage here, but still tons of spearmen there for Kingston. He gets some good hits against the scouts from Capoch. So the army from Capoch really not doing much.
And the Vills are going to help, make this fight go towards Kingston's direction here. And what it was there, Capoch had to react. He had to garrison villagers in a house because there was scout attack from Kingston. So good work from Kingston to defend. I love that tower again. He's actually even mining the gold there. Okay. That's pretty cool, actually. That's a nice little spot. Little risky, but Capoch just making spearmen. So maybe the early archer play that we talked about will be really realistic here for Kingston. Does he know about that woodline, Dave? He's still... Oh, no. He's seen the woodline on the right. Capoch even made a new lumber camp. So that's 3 total lumber camps for him so far this game. Spearman v. Spearman in Kingston's base. Kingston adding the range at home, and I'm really liking the position here for the Mexican.
Got a solid economy, too. Horse collar in, adding in his farms, and tracking the spearman, of course. And he knows the scout number is pretty far down for Capoch. He's been tracking him this whole time. He killed the scouts earlier. And Capoch does have Khmer farms, which is slightly worrying, right?
Yeah.
Occasionally, if the Khmer player doesn't want to go into a fast castle approach and you stop making spearmen, suddenly they show up with like 6 or 7 scouts. It could be very concerning, especially if they add another stable. I don't know if Capoch is going for that approach now.
I'm laughing because Capoch has 9 spearmen and he's queuing up a 10th right now.
And he's
got
killing the
so
scouts
many.
from Kingston. Like he's actually just going full spear here with Khmer.
Oh, and
That's
he's got
wild.
Kingston so distracted, and Kingston losing those scouts is so
Might lose an
bad.
archer here too. He might lose the archer to the scout.
No way. Archers will survive, I guess, and the spearmen will slowly get whittled down. But man, if Kingston had those 3 scouts with the archers he's creating, that's a devastating army composition. But suddenly, Capoch adding more scouts. He knows the archers are coming out, and he knows his opponent has mainly defensive spearmen. So if those archers ever move out across the map, I bet you Capoch is going to be hunting those down with the scouts. Just like a really
so many spears. Dude.
crazy game, yeah.
We were talking about MBL, and the energy has been summoned here.
Seriously.
Just a bazillion spears.
But there is something to be said about the style because it makes your life a whole lot easier if you just go food wood, right? You don't have to be. Yeah, you also don't have to micro spearmen and scouts in the same way where you hit and run.
And there's the cavalry armor. Really, I would have thought forging would be much better here with 11 spearmen.
Well, to be fair, does he
scouts.
really have 11 spearmen? 205 HP out of 495
they
possible
can still
HP.
poke, bro. They can still poke.
Yeah, he's like, we'll save forging if you guys earn it. If you guys survive, we'll give you forging.
And there's the other stable. So this is what I was talking about. Sometimes the Khmer player is just kind of stall out in feudal age and keep the scouts producing, get all the upgrades, and let his opponent come forward and then just collapse on him with a bazillion scouts. And it's going to be really, really hard for Kingston to keep this under control.
Yeah,
he did wall in the scout at the gold, though, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's kind of funny.
No,
yeah,
out.
first game against like a seasoned pro like Capoch doing stuff like that. But Dave, there's just so many scouts, so many upgrades, and this little army, this archer spearman army, it's just too weak now at this stage of the game. Like, if that moves forward, Capoch is going to pounce on it. He'll have forging and he'll have armor. And this scout play is perfect for the Khmer. Still, obviously, is dangerous playing scouts long term against the Hindustanis, who can go for the camels. So you got to get some value from these scouts. And Capoch is choosing to loop around, it seems, and go to the main base of Kingston. But Kingston's scared.
Needs to be,
I think.
Yeah, he needs to be cautious, dude. He's going forward right now because he only saw the spearman with a scout that was patrolling there, but he has to be wondering where the main army is. He saw at least 4 or 5 scouts with upgrades previously, and those are going to go right into the farming eco. I think if you're Capoch, the farming eco is a good hit here because there's probably spearmen on the wood line.
So good from Kingston, though. To acknowledge that the scouts didn't stay home and move forward immediately was great. And also outpost at home and save your gold miners. So he now is protected from those scouts temporarily. Obviously, things could get out of hand. Still laughing at those spearmen, man.
Does he get the infantry armor for these? That's the question. So many of them are... Put him in the TC if you're not going to use them. Like, heal him up.
The Capoch goes for a villager pick. He runs into the town center. I don't really think it's worth the loss of HP there.
No, it's not. It's not. He did get 2, and he is distracting him. He's going to kill the spearman there, but then gets cleared up by another one. He is engaging against the archers, though. And the archers really struggling to maneuver behind those buildings. I saw a couple misclicks there from Kingston. And that army is going to get cleared up. But the spearman count is down to 4 for Capoch.
Scout count obviously pretty high for Capoch. But, you know, we have Kingston on the way to the next stage. So at the end of the day, Capoch, he killed 2 villagers.
Very concerning position, though, for Kingston, because he could get overwhelmed before he gets there.
Yeah. I mean, it's especially concerning on that wood line. You need to be walling in your wood line at least a little bit here, I think. I mean, he is adding more spearmen. So the timing here will be fascinating. If he could just hold on until he can make a few camels. But, oh, lots of scouts are on the way. Capoch losing that one. Little messy, but he's probably at home producing more. Now Kingston's adding some walls. So he sees it and expects it. Capoch didn't go back to the wood line. He seems to be heading over to the golds. I think I'd prefer that if I were Kingston, though. Like, you could just pull the villagers off of gold temporarily. Wood you need all the time.
He has found the scout at the back, but the spearmen are going over there, and now the spears are there to react to the scouts. And scouts can make do against spearmen and castle age, but once the camels come out, that can almost match their speed, it's going to be really, really difficult for him to continue an all-in style of play. He does have more scouts looking at the wood line, though, and he's completely outrun the spearmen. So he's using his mobility well, and it's not easy for Kingston. However, he hasn't lost anything just yet.
Yeah, just yet is right. Like, those scouts can go to those farmers that are pretty far away, but and Kingston's defense has been really impressive here, but Capoch is going to drop a tower there. Does Kingston see that, and can he do anything about it if he sees it? It feels like he needs to send the archers there.
Yeah. Towers positions on forward resources with scouts to catch the vills running away.
Yeah.
Really, really tough to save your eco, and we'll see what Kingston decides to do here. He could maybe even... Oh, he doesn't have a mark and he doesn't have stone, so he can't even drop a TC to counter that or anything. He's going to lose more villagers that were weak before. No, he saves them.
All right.
And finally, the camels are coming out.
But, you know, this is the type of game that you want if you're Capoch. You want it to be open. You want it to be scrappy. And it's also the same with his Civ, the Khmer. He's got 14 scouts. And though he hasn't killed villagers, it feels like he could at any time. And the villagers, they're running to the left, but the camels are there. Clearly, he wants a TC over there.
He wants to buy a TC.
Yeah.
But he's going to have to... Look, he's only making the market with 2 vills now.
Yeah.
It's going to be a while, and he'd need to sell wood twice to... No, he's on gold now, so he'd need to sell wood to buy stone.
What a great game, though.
rough.
Like, the spearmen are going to protect the golds. A new wood line's going to be found, and that's actually going to be a great TC because you see the gold and the wood line. Capoch also tried to kill the villagers on the front. Kingston had saved those guys in the tower. That's something that I'd missed on, and just so much potential for both players in this game. And there you go. He sold some resources to buy the stone. TC will absolutely go up there, though.
Scouts? Okay, there's too many villagers there for the scouts to stop the TC. Capoch still looking for the vills he saw here earlier. And now he sees the gigantic army of spearmen. He nopes right out of there. He actually got the infantry armor on the way up, too.
Look at Kingston's defense, though. You got more scouts looping in on the farms, 2 camels there. He's just defending everywhere. Now, okay, now he might lose the villagers. And he's going to save the villagers at the tower? Well, no, he's going to wall in that one scout, though.
Yep.
So that guy's going to die at least.
Dude, we have 17 scouts here from Cap. Well, less now.
Less now,
Right to those spearmen.
Less now.
He's bringing them back to the archers. 17 scouts. Instant light cav upgrade. Husbandry as well, making these scouts even more annoying than they previously were. And the villager count is still in Capoch's favor right now.
Yeah, Capoch will be able to drop TCs if he wants to. Remember, he probably doesn't have the best of tech trees. Yes, he's got Arbalest, but no Thumb Ring. Yes, he has Knights, but no Paladin. More of an Elephant Siege Civ. And what a great clear up from Kingston. He will hold here and take out the archers that could have taken out his spears. And he did react on his TC on the left as Capoch just now knows it's there. I think that's the important part about that. This is a great game. Both guys, I know like in some previous sets, you had like one player warming up, other with a weird decision. These guys are both playing amazing to start off this series.
I like Capoch's position a lot more, though, I think. I think the Civ for Kingston is good, but Capoch has just had an untouched eco behind all of this for so long. And he's got all of these light cab, too. With the ability to switch into Knights, switch into Pikemen.
Like one mistake from Kingston and he loses 10 vills. That's what it's felt like for a long time. He's only lost 3 this game. Let's see if he garrisons on the left. He garrisons on the left. Well done. Now, Capoch realizing there's not enough room for all the vills, but Capoch losing light cap to those camels. Now on the TC on the right.
Lost 3 villagers.
This is crazy.
Yeah, how on earth? Like Capoch has used his mobility so well.
Yeah.
Kingston is keeping his villagers alive somehow.
And 2 of them, it's worth noting, were the villagers that were forward. So it's not like he even lost that many villagers at his actual base here. Crazy. And the army count's 21 to 21. It's 77 to 78 population. This game is very close. Capoch on 2 TCs. As you mentioned, though, Dave, the eco's been untouched for Capoch, and that's valuable. And I think it allows him to continue to run in and out and try and decide on when to take the fights. And Kingston's going to eventually need to get some type of a counterattack in. And even still, it's going to be with camels. You can't really kill fast with camels.
Do you want to see like pikemen added in here from Capoch? Or is it just more knights and then you take the trades, maybe add in some monks, which he's doing right now? Or do you want to see like a forward siege workshop on that TC? On the left.
I think with the numbers that Capoch has right now and his style, I think that he'd be more than comfortable with just adding the TC. But there is a world where Pike Ram on the back of this night push makes a lot of sense. It's just if you don't add the 3rd TC, when you haven't killed that many villagers, then Kingston will pull ahead. So there's the counterattack we're asking for, Kingston. Man, this is a classic Acropolis game.
Spearmen get absolutely nuked by those knights. Here come the camels, and camels can't really raid under the TC very well.
Also,
Knights
you don't want to be fighting
a better
uphill.
job. Yep.
I love how both players have realized, even with camel v knight fights, that they could take it. Like on the left side there, Capoch had the numbers. Kingston ran back. Now you've got a nice little fight here. I think it's actually pretty good for Capoch, but Kingston gets a lot of kills at the same time, so maybe not. 15 army for 15, 70 villagers for 70. This game is so close, but you know, Capoch still hasn't really taken many raids. He's getting relics in right now, but there is a question of now that the army numbers are similar and there's so many camels, what do you make?
Difference. Yeah. It's really rough, right?
Especially another stable coming out for Kingston, so the production will only get higher. He is also continually making archers, which is very confusing to me. But I think it's because he's expecting pikemen.
And there's the pikeman switch from Capoch.
Yeah.
Queuing up spearmen from 2 barracks now to counter the camels, and Kingston's going to be ready. He's going to have the archers. He'll get the crossbow upgrade when he can afford it. And he'll be ready for the pushback from Capoch. Capoch now raiding on the right side. And again, Kingston noticing it. Right away, he has still only lost 4 villagers this entire game. And Capoch has been in his economy the entire game, it feels like. So, really good stuff.
It's like 3 or 4 groups at a time in some stages, too. I wonder if Kingston knows he's still making archers. Is this a control group thing? He's got archers in his TC. Okay, he sends them out now. If he knew, he'd probably be clicking crossbow. He might have even verified. No, he didn't see the barracks on the front when he had gone forward there. But there's definitely a level of game sense here where you just know the camels are starting to work. Your opponent's got to go for something else, and that something else is going to be pikes. And the knights are back from Capoch. Kills his 5th villager of the game only. And still the population... Guys, the population's been tied for like the last 20 minutes. This is so cool. Lovely Age of Empires game.
And where are the crossbows? Soon to be crossbows. Here they come. Capoch is going to hate to see that.
Yeah,
He
seriously.
hasn't seen any archers all game. And then suddenly he's going to see a big group of crossbows to counter his pikemen that he just teched into.
Yep. The other thing about Pike Knight is you kind of need it together, and you kind of need it with Siege, because you can't push Eco with pikemen. You can only push Eco with the Knights. But there is a Siege workshop for Capoch, and he's sitting there, and we're going to see a quick conversion there for Kingston. That's not the first one he's gotten either. And now the crossbow move out, and Capoch is like, what? The monks are going down. The pikes are going down. And this is crazy defense from Kingston.
Pre-countered.
Wow.
Great gameplay from Kingston. The timing on there was excellent. You're like, why is he queuing up archers? This is why he was queuing up archers. Yep.
Dang, man. So many, like, a lot of players do not do that. They do not queue up archers over that long period of time. They prefer to just not produce for a while, and then they make, like, the 2nd and 3rd range. But that one range has gotten value here. Look how many monks have died. Look how many pikemen will die. Capoch kind of running out of answers right now. And we could see a castle drop for Kingston forward on the back of this. He could also go for a defensive style as well. He's got so many opportunities here.
Coming forward with even more camels. Using them really well to protect his crossbows. Also sniping down all the monks, all the pikemen. KD is going to kind of get out of control if Capoch keeps fighting with this comp. And he's still going into more pikemen here, Tristan.
Yeah.
Maybe, like, I don't know, his siege workshop as well out of position. Kingston knows where that is.
Well,
Kingston now goes for a castle.
It's very similar to the feud late fights we talked about before. Crossbow camel is
this
so
fight?
much more technical and hard to control.
Yeah.
And if you just like spam farmers, spam villagers, spam pike and knight, it can work really well if one bad fight is taken. And that was kind of an example of a bad moment there for the camels. But Capoch shouldn't be advancing into this fight either. So both players take horrible fights as Ballistics comes in, and you can tell Kingston just kind of knows what Capoch is going for. He's dropping a castle in the spot that Capoch is now going to try and castle drop.
Capoch is like, try and stop me. And Kingston's like, try and stop mine. Mine's going to be up before yours. Capoch immediately deleting that castle. He goes for it even further forward. Capoch does have the military numbers to keep pushing here. Maybe the crossbow's doing a good job sniping the pikemen, and the TC is there in support. Now the castle is up. Capoch is YOLOing onto this castle foundation. But Kingston has a larger army now.
And he's got crossbows that'll have ballistics, so they're not going to miss the shots. So Capoch just tosses the knights, and he's like, come on, villagers, build faster. I'll sacrifice my lives for you. What a great job from Capoch there.
Wow,
him getting this
what a
castle up gives him a shot in this game still when it didn't look like he was going to have it. And again, 132 population versus 135. It's so close. The whole game, the population's been close. This is insane.
And that castle is so annoying for Kingston because it splits his production buildings on either side of his base. So it's going to be really, really tough for him to group up. He doesn't have a castle up on the plateau. He's got one on either side of that. And he's not yet up to Imperial Age, so he can't really trap it down. Capoch has gotten himself a fantastic position here. And again, his economy behind this, perfectly safe.
Yeah, and just continue with Pikeman Knight. Just continue to do it. You're going to find good fights on occasion. Ram down the range if you can. That's a decent fight here for Capoch. I don't know where he's going with the villagers, though.
He wants production buildings up top. He wants stables up top.
Well, I mean,
there's no room.
There's a lot of things I'd like in life, but I realize they're not realistic for me. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess your eco might be untouched at home, but if you bring it forward, it's risky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like maybe a castle where that archer range is for Kingston, and he could just stop
still like
his potential, but it's still such a close game.
Look at what you've done, though. You forced Kingston he was thinking about Imperial Age.
Yep.
He was setting up his castles, and now you forced him to all-in castle against you.
And look at the food
because he can't
count.
afford to not.
Like the best, the best thing to look at to know if someone's struggling with pressure is how much they have on wood and food. Because Capoch is 52 on food. He's now on the way to Imp. And Kingston had 60 on wood, 20 on food a moment ago.
Yeah.
Dude.
Kingston now selling everything to buy stone, and he's going for a castle up on the plateau, but Capoch is up.
Wow, that's ridiculous. I mean, if I'm Capoch now, though, first off, I think I'm very happy with this fight. You know, Kingston probably adding those farms, doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
But you raid the sides with your initial army as you mass those trebs in the middle, and there's so much potential. You've got a converted Gulam on the right side from Capoch. That will kill Vils.
There's Gulams in the back from Kingston trying to raid Capoch. He's got his waypoint set there from the castle.
Yeah.
But the TC is able to deal with those. He's also trying to raid on the left side, denying that TC. Knows where that is from Capoch, but Capoch is 1 minute and 40 seconds away from Imperial Age. He's got 24 pikemen. Still has the food trickling in. Well, not trickling. Kind of being injected right into his eco. And Kingston is not yet up, so...
Look at, the quick walls from Capoch on the left to complete that TC on the gold. The only thing I could say is that there is that one Gulam next to where the main TC was. That's killed like 5 Vils. Capoch hasn't seen that, but it looks like Kingston's moved him around. Dave, Cavalier opening could be devastating to Kingston. He can make camels, but he doesn't have many of them right now. And there's 17 knights for Capoch. Imp upgrades matter a whole lot here.
You also have 24 pikemen.
Yeah,
do you get Halb
true.
or do you get Cavalier? I mean, Halb is more expensive, right? So
I think you could,
Cavalier is probably better.
You try and, get some big raids in with the Cavalier. You use some gold and wood to make trebs from that middle castle. It's his only real castle. And again, you do that on the sides, and then you keep the pikemen in the middle. And Capoch now, he's sending knights in on the left. He's got the knights on the right. See, that's a fight he can win with these upgrades. He's had full blacksmith upgrades already for a long time. And Kingston's on the way up, Dave. He's got 144 Vils. You could tell under this pressure, though, he's probably over booming. You need to stop creating villagers around this amount.
He's balanced out his eco quite nicely, though.
Yeah, he has. Look at the idle time. 3 hours, over 3 hours for Kingston because of reacting to all the raids. Only 42 minutes for Capoch's eco. That's crazy. Maybe not the time to fight, though, if you're Capoch. He doesn't have his upgrades yet. That's
Bro,
that Kingston's distracted. Oh,
Bro,
man.
that Golem at the back is still going ham.
Yeah, true.
14 kills now.
It's
14
true.
kills. Oh, my God. Oh, my. And it will kill again.
I mean, if Capoch doesn't look back there, that could be an issue. As he's trying to make trebs and go for rams to push the left side of Kingston's base. Kingston's population and Capoch's population still even. It's still even. What is this game? This is an incredible Acropolis game. Hey, remember,
Dude,
Kingston's got 3 castles, so if he can hold on, he's good, man.
That Golem is single-handedly keeping Kingston in the game. That is 18 villagers down now.
Okay, the pikeman will hopefully kill it. No, it's a weak pikeman.
There, he notices, though.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah.
another one. Maybe one more. Maybe
All right.
he'll run out of the range of the TC and back into safe area.
Here come the pikemen. Look at this from Kingston. He knows those pikes are an issue right now. So he's trying to block them off with these gates and houses. That is such a sick play. Because if that army were to get through, he cannot deal with it with simply just the camels. But the camels
He could
can
actually
deal with things
wall in
elsewhere.
all of these pikes if he's paying attention.
Look at this. He knows he's going to be raided again, and he's got that other group of camels just waiting. Capoch has got to be like, what can I do to win this game? I've been raiding this guy nonstop in Feudal Age, Castle Age, and Imperial Age.
Yeah, welcome to everyone else playing against you, Capoch.
Yeah, seriously.
You're getting a taste of your own medicine here.
Oh, I mean, Halberdier upgrade is in for Capoch. As again, the populations are still very close. We won't have heavy camel. We don't have hand cannons. We don't have any of these things that Hindustanis want just yet. And I think Capoch has got more gold and stone control around the map right now, especially with the castle on the right side. And again, great micro from Capoch. Pulls the halbs away, sends the cav in. And another castle for Capoch in the north. That's one Kingston has to try and deny, I think.
Yeah, he's sending over the Ghoulims. He's sending the Ghoulims. He's got camels there. He's even attacking the foundation with villagers. And more camels on the way. This castle will be denied, 100%.
But in the middle, Kingston could lose his castle because Capoch is pushing there. And the conscription's on the way. Kingston will probably bring the camels and Ghoulims right over to deal with this. Remember, Ghoulims aren't really that great against Halb or Cavalier. They're not good in melee engagements. And now Kingston goes for his own castle, but he just left with his army here. So he could lose villagers.
19 villagers. Capoch has 19 villagers. Now sending the Halbs. This castle is going to be denied from Kingston.
Oh, God.
The only thing saving that castle from maybe not being denied is the outpost, blocking it off a little bit.
I think both castles will go up, but Capoch is still pushing the middle then, and he's still got army around, and Kingston is finally breaking a little bit. This is a ridiculous game. Great pressure from Capoch, non-stop pressure, in fact. And it's just more Halbs. He's got more Cavalier queued.
Stone, it's still alive.
What is happening, dude?
It's dead, though. It's dead. Surely it's dead, right? Surely it's dead. He can't keep selling to buy stone to keep that alive. Once that's gone, the army can just run in for free. And behind it, Cavalier killing more villagers.
Wow.
And he calls the GG. What a crazy first game. Fantastic.
That was, I mean, if you like Acropolis, that's why, right? So many different mobility options used in this game. And truthfully, I mean, I feel bad for Kingston because what more does the guy got to do to win? Right? Like, he defended from so many different attacks. And then, you know, he got some raids in with the Ghoulims. And obviously, Capoch could have maybe reacted that one a little bit faster. But even still, Kingston got the kills there and couldn't get the victory. But, like, maybe that's the theme of it all is, like, even though Capoch wasn't killing Kingston with those attacks, it was still the same conversation of Capoch is attacking. Capoch is asking the questions of Kingston. And, you know, his eco is untouched, which you can see with the food economy more than anything. 29,000 food collected. That's also the Khmer bonus. Kingston, more of every other resource, though. What a game.
So Khmer win. You were wrong all along.
Yeah, seriously. Apparently Khmer are just amazing. But, again, it just suits Capoch's style. Make a ton of armies, spam a ton of farms, make it messy, and forget about tech switches. You know, I wonder if maybe Kingston should have not gone for the Ghoulims. Like, it does cost golds. He was never really able to get elite. But, you know, at the same time, I feel like he needed something instantly, which is why in his mind he felt like making the Ghoulims would work, as opposed to, like, crossbowmen still, because you don't get arbalest, and I guess any other option wouldn't have been quite as immediate. But yeah, Capoch, dude, I'm so impressed with Capoch. Like, players like Capoch just make the game so fun to watch. 6-6 stuff. Anyways, we're here, and Capoch having a little bit of an issue, but looks like he'll bring in his boar. And we've got good old Regicide Fortress. I've had a lot of people saying, wait a second, it's Regicide? And yeah, there are kings. And do not get excited like Dave and I did. Do not hope that the kings are going to be killed. Because even if the king is like right in front of, I don't know, 30 Elite Ratha, it's not going to be sniped. This won't happen.
Yep.
But it
or
could.
If it's seen a bazillion times, it won't be sniped. And there's a king now passing the scout, but Capoch can't really get that in Dark Age. Or if the player with the king pulls away units one tile away from the king to send them somewhere else, don't count on him noticing that his king is right there, because that also doesn't happen apparently.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. Dude, the only reason I threw my headset there is like I watched back your point of view. You were kind of looking at the king. I was doing nothing but hard focusing on the king for about 20 minutes. And it was an odyssey.
Yeah.
Like, it was just an adventure there in neither player noticing that.
I guess, like, I just knew. I was like, there's no way they're going to focus on it. It's like, come on, as the kings are going to pass each other here.
5 different times where Barles was within range with his Ratha and didn't kill it.
Yep.
In multiple locations with that king.
And it also, it took Velez, like, I don't know, like 10 minutes to move it away from that tower.
But then he just moved it into the open again. He didn't even put it in another tower. And he never realized that there was 5 elite skirms in the tower preventing him from garrisoning there. It's wild, bro.
Well, it's actually the same exact Civ matchup. But I will say there's some differences with the map gens. First off, this is like as balanced a Regicide Fortress map as you're ever going to see, it feels like. You've got the neutral goats in the right corner for both players. Mm-hmm. You've got an additional gold outside their walls on the front for both players. You have the castles on the front for both players. Also, no hills of question in front of the players, too. So that's always important. But Bengalis get +2 villagers out of their TC when they arrive to each age. They have more monk armor. And the most practical unit for the Bengalis, at least from what we've seen in many situations with the Bengalis, is the unique unit, which you produce out of your castle, which you start with here. So... you think it's the best on Regicide Fortress? Did you say?
Bengalis, yeah. I think it's the best just because you're always winning the relic contest. I think if you go Bengalis, your opponent's gonna have a really tough time picking a Civ.
Yeah.
I think Bohemians are near where you want to be for a Civ selection. Maybe you can make an argument for Vietnamese in pure Imp Skirm. I think Bengalis really actually struggle against Imp Skirm. But other than that, I don't know.
Well, I think Kingston will know all these things. Kingston is insanely good on open maps, so everyone who just watched Game 1 were probably extremely impressed with his performance, and many might have been surprised that he's gone for this map. He plays Arena a lot, and he is a very strategic guy. I don't think he's going full boom, because he is... Well, I guess there's always a chance you can go for the sell stone build. But, I mean, he's mining stone, which at least initially makes me think maybe he wants to go for some type of a fast imp play into a forward castle.
With monks, maybe?
Yeah, I could definitely see it working out. And I think that is an underrated play on this version because the castle's always forward. Old Fortress, sometimes you'd have a main gold forward, and then your castle would be in the back. We kind of wanted to avoid those generations, but just making the castle consistently forward. And so you've got a focus there that you know should be there if you go fast imp forward trebs. I guess we'll see. It looks like he's mined some golds.
He's going to sell 100 to get enough.
He'll probably sell wood. Sell he's going to have so much wood.
And there we go.
Blacksmith is super cheap. 600 wood in the bank. What in the world? Definitely could have gone up a little faster here, Kingston, if he's got this many resources, but it's by no means going to be a bad situation once he makes it to Castle Age.
My question is, what is Capoch's plan here? He obviously wants to make one monastery. Mm-hmm. Don't think he wants to go for stables for additional scouts. But how many TCs is he planning to add right away? Is it just 2 TCs right away, and then you see where you're at? Because you have that monastery, or is he planning for a super boom? Who knows? I think still not having collected the stone is a bit brutal.
Yeah, so you have 150 stone in the bank on Regicide Fortress starts. So if you did want to drop the second and the third TC, you would need to collect 50. And that's a standard thing. You normally have villagers walking back and forth to do that. So maybe he actually goes for a mini fast imp here, right? Like second TC.
No, he buys the stone.
Oh, okay. Well, thanks, Capoch. Could have just waited to talk about that, I guess. But yeah, that's an approach too. We might actually see insta 4 TC boom for Kingston. That could be why he's been mining stone like this and has so much wood.
Maybe.
So
we thought it was going to be some sort of all-in. It's all-in eco, baby.
Yeah. But that means he definitely is going to skip the relics.
Well, I don't think you can realistically get more than 2 against Bengalis. I think if you're lucky with the generation, you'll be very lucky to get 2.
Okay.
They're just that good with the monks.
I think straight boom without competing for relics is very underrated right now. And a lot of players aren't doing it. Like, there are certain civs, and maybe Bohemian's one of those civilizations where it makes sense. And how many times have we seen someone try to boom and also compete for relics, and then their boom is just garbage because of it?
You can add in the monastery when you get enough wood after you drop your TCs, because you're gonna need fervor anyway for your vills. So hopefully you can snag like the relic in the back corner, maybe, which he doesn't see, by the way.
Yeah.
Or the relic to the north potentially. But I think if you get 1, you should be pretty happy here. If you get 2, you're ecstatic.
I'm really excited to see how long that food's gonna last for him. He's probably feeling like a god right now with 500 food in the bank. But
just mine gold and then buy food.
Yeah. Also, if you kill 1 monk with your scout, you're living the dream right now. Just 1 monk is all you ask for, because you're not really competing much more than that. And it almost looks like that scout for KingstoNe's waiting for that opportunity in the south. But yeah, maybe you also feel the need to go immediate 4 TCs because the Bengalis are insane. Look at the Vil difference.
40 to 27.
40 to 27.
That's nuts, bro. What?
I don't think any civ can compete with this boom from the Bengalis on Regicide Fortress. I think you just either have to, like... I'd be curious to see what the late game looks like, but...
I think humans can get pretty close, and I think humans might be one of the civs that Bengalis would struggle against if they go double TC into faster Imperial Age.
Yeah, yeah.
And pressure them in that time window. Humans and Bohemians maybe the 2 that you can make an argument for, but everyone else, even Chinese, it's tough.
Yeah, I agree. There's the fervor upgrade, Dave. No monk yet, but I like how KingstoNe is making use of his civ bonus. I don't think it'll be extremely helpful this moment, but once there's more farms, it'll be helpful. And also Capoch, just a very Capoch thing to do, very late game thing to do. A couple houses down there. And seems to me like he's not even worried about the relic in the south because he knows that he will likely get that one. So he's actually moving out to the relic more towards the middle.
And the thing is with these Bengali monks, like even if KingstoNe dives on this monk, if Capoch starts converting at max range, there's not even like a guarantee.
Yeah, you're unlikely to get a kill, I think.
Well, if he doesn't
that's
convert
so
you
unlucky.
at max range, you can go snipe it. He pulled it away at the last second.
He saw the other relic got picked up, so he's hoping to see the monk, but the monk is actually heading right down towards where the other monk is. I think that's what he's doing.
And he still doesn't see the relic at the very back, the right corner.
Now he's like, oh god, the relic in the south is been picked up as well. I mean, he might end up finding this other guy, though. So that could be good. Capoch still ahead in villagers, by the way. And let me guess, KingstoNe's going to miss this too. Oh, come on.
Dude,
he was looking away.
Dude. Oh, no.
Oh, well, that's...
Barely misses both monks.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Disappointing. And also, Capoch saw all that, so he's going to bring his scout home. Maybe try and track that. And again, are we going to see the late game of the Bohemians? We do have a monk protected by his spearman. That's an underrated play, I think, on this map. It's not like Arena where the monks are all going to be together. That they can just convert the spearmen.
I do like the fact KingstoNe's been keeping his TCs running, and he's catching up on villagers now. He's been buying food, so he bought 200 food already. Wouldn't be surprised if he buys some more. Yep. And I think that's actually a really good strategy with Bohemians, getting those first 2 mining upgrades for free.
Yep.
Your gold is coming in so fast that it's actually pretty efficient for you to just trade gold for food instead of, investing the wood costs right away for additional farms.
All right, so here's where Capoch starts to think about positioning, right? And you should know your opponent's castle's on the front. He's looking now for more information. He's going to see a villager, which he won't be able to... Actually, he might kill her, and she doesn't have loom. So kills that villager. That's nice for Capoch.
Dead.
And now he's going to look towards the middle. I think KingstoNe doesn't want to lose the middle. So he's actually adding this Hussite wagon, which is an interesting addition. A.k.a. the food truck.
The food truck?
The food truck.
Is that what it is?
Yep.
Or what, do they shoot food, like shoot sandwiches out of the things? Or what's...
I don't know. Maybe it's like an ice cream truck that has like the soft serve flavors.
Ew.
And you have to go
Yeah,
up.
just put your mouth around the little cannon and just slurp it up. That's disgusting, bro. That's absolutely.
No, you get a little cup. You know, you
It
don't
just
put your mouth
slowly
around
dribbles
it.
out. Yeah, sure.
But yeah, someone called it a food truck the other day, and I kind of like that. But this is actually a really good position because now Capoch can't easily move out with anything to drop a castle there. He's got to think twice about it. And this alone, even if KingstoNe doesn't make a lot with it, could give him a lot of time.
God, that monk from Capoch against the spearman. The spearman was trying his best. Dude.
Yeah.
He's doing 1 damage per hit. Now the monk is going in for the relic. However, there is a monk already here from KingstoNe.
Oh, KingstoNe doesn't know it's there, so he's been scouting with this, and now, okay, do you get
slow.
atonement?
No, because you have a scout coming.
What?
He's
What?
ahead of him.
What?
Monk race, literal monk race there. How did he had fervor? I guess
He elbowed him
Capoch didn't
out
have
of
fervor.
position. I'm pretty sure that's against the rules. You can't be throwing elbows in a monk race.
Dude, listen, monks make their own rules, all right?
Yeah, that's true. They receive the rules from God, so who are we to judge, right? But okay, so that's actually really good for KingstoNe. Then he will have 2 relics, and he's adding the ranges in the middle. He's also sees that there's going to be a castle over here near his food trucks on the left
I
side.
say wagon's actually killing a unit. Oh my goodness, they killed a villager.
So annoying.
Those don't have loom. That's why.
Yeah, that's
Don't have
true.
loom.
They're still not killing in some of these volleys.
They can't even kill them. Come on, wagons.
But
Come on, man. We expect more.
I feel like this is decent value for KingstoNe. He won't be too upset about this. He is still trying to find out what his opponent's going for, by the way. And I don't think it's ever a bad idea to tech Elite Skirm when you're playing up against the Bengalis.
Yeah, against Bengalis, yeah. And Ratha just died to Skirm, which just feels so bad.
Chemistry's coming in all ahead of time, so Chemistry will be in shortly after KingstoNe arrives to the Imperial Age, allowing him to go for the bombard cannons, but he deletes the wagons. Oh man, no more ice cream for you.
Feels so bad.
But I mean, hey, your opponent had to go for redemption, so I mean that's something at least. Elite skirms for KingstoNe. I'm actually a really big fan of how KingstoNe played this. I don't know how it's gonna work, but I think he's gave himself a really good shot here.
I just can. I'm concerned about Capoch's position here because KingstoNe with that castle now has a place to sit his siege.
Yep.
And if he goes for trebs instead of, I don't think you should go for bombard cannons here, if you're KingstoNe, because of the monks from Capoch, right? If you go for trebs instead, you force everything to come into your skirmishers and towards your castle.
Yeah.
You just have way more range, and it's forcing engagements from Capoch. You're just giving him targets if you go bombard cannon.
I think you can also do both, right? As long as you have trebs, that's the important thing. If it's one or the other, you always choose trebs first. He is doing that, and I think this forces Capoch into an uncomfortable situation. He's not the type of player who wants to be going redemption monks. And he did, research redemption, but he's got to get block printing too for the range. He hasn't done that yet. And still a big question of, okay, hey, Bohemians, or Bengalis, excuse me, what's your unit comp? Because Ratha gets countered by Skirm. This is pretty well established. Gotta be going for something else here, I think, if you're Capoch.
Well, I wanted to see a Skirm opening the zone.
Yeah, just
the
to
monks.
hold it off. Yeah.
Yeah. Just delay.
I think initially his build was Ratha for map control and then Treps. And then do everything else.
He could go champion here, but the problem is that hand cannons can just be added in, right?
Yep,
From
true.
KingstoNe. So, also, I love the wall off at the top from KingstoNe, preventing Capoch from going in there. And Skirms are now killing Ratha, and this is just, it's just like the saddest thing to watch this unit die to a Skirm.
Yeah, the Bengalis aren't good because of the Ratha. The Bengalis are good in spite of. Ballistics now coming in. Man, KingstoNe's prep for this map was so good. These things are melting to skirmishers. They do have a melee mode, so they fight like knights, but they don't like receive
And they
a
still
big
take
change
the
in
bonus
armor.
damage. Yeah.
Yeah. If Ballistics would have been in, all those monks might have been down for Capoch. And I've seen Capoch in a lot of situations where he can come back. But the more I look at this, I just feel like he has no clue how to counter this.
He's under the mistaken impression that once he gets his Ratha fully upgraded, they will be fine.
Yeah.
They will not be fine.
They will not be fine.
Continue to die to Skirmisher. This is why you don't open Ratha here in Fortress.
Yeah, and
Because-
then if you go for light cav, your opponent has Halberdier to do additional
Already,
damage.
yeah.
And then if you go for champions, your opponent has hand cannons.
I think you either have to open Champions and hide it like Barles did,
Yep.
or you open Skirm to buy yourself enough time
Yep.
to get maybe into Ratha. And once you have your own Skirms, you can counter the Skirms from your opponent. So the Ratha will be more effective. Or you can go light cab behind that. But instead, Kingston read the Ratha opening perfectly. And look at this siege setup here. 5 Trebs with Skirmishers to protect. And pikemen around to nuke the light cab. This just feels over, doesn't it? He had to delete his castle foundation at the top, which is something for Capoch, but
Yeah, I mean, there's just going to be a castle in front of these trebuchets soon for Kingston as he wants to continue this push. I mean, the Halb Skirmisher combination is more than fine against these Ratha. Worth noting, they're not even elite, right? They don't have the 2nd or 3rd armor. I don't know if Thumbring ever came in. So it really has just been eco that's been going good for Capoch. Not even the upgrades or the unit composition. Capoch could go for a YOLO King Snipe, but there's more
that's
stone
basically
walls.
it, yeah.
So,
And I would love to see it. Where is the king? Oh, the king is way back there.
yeah, protected in a tower as you probably
If he
should do.
does get through the gate with like 20 Ratha, though, he can switch to the melee mode, but that king can just teleport to the TC.
I know.
Never mind. I was looking
wanna-
for a possibility. It's not there. It's simply not there.
If Ratha did more damage versus buildings, that would be pretty epic. To use the same unit to take out the tower and then take out the king. Another castle goes down for Capoch. His population's high. He's switching to light cab, but his opponent's already 2 or 3 steps ahead of him here. And this is huge for Kingston. Like, he needs this win after getting 3-0'd in the first round. And it's also a big confidence boost, too, because he could have won the first game. The first game was also very close. Another castle for Kingston, so he's going to place the castle in the position he wanted originally a couple minutes ago. And I would, I think it's an underrated move. Just treb down that monastery. Just do not allow Capoch to get gold from those relics.
Or keep trebbing down the houses.
Yeah, that
Because
too.
Capoch has been housed for a very long time. He finally gets it out of control. As the castle is coming up here from Kingston, and more stone walls around it to prevent that castle from being denied. Capoch is charging in with the Wrath, and they do what they have been doing all this game, which is absolutely nothing.
Yeah. I mean, they
die.
did force Kingston to accidentally shoot his own trebuchet. So, I mean, that's worth it, I guess. But yeah, GG. And Capoch just got to be like scratching his head like, why do people pick Bengalis?
You don't pick them to go Wrath,
Yeah.
that's for sure.
Well, but I want to back up a second because I think Kingston made this actually look so easy because the timing for Capoch could have been there. I think the addition of the Hussite wagons was brilliant. It jockeyed for position between those middle golds, allowed him to get his buildings up there, allowed him to get his castle. The immediate 3 TC addition into a 4 TC boom is not something I've seen. Remember, Veleza didn't do that. So that allowed
Just
him to
buying
catch up
food to
economically.
compensate
Yeah.
is really nice, dude. Yeah.
Buying food to compensate, but then also getting 2 relics, the early fervor is just like, I don't know. I felt like it was really strong. And I think Kingston deserves a lot of credit for that. But yeah, I agree with you. I think if you're up against someone who knows what they're doing with the Bohemians, I think you have to like open with Skirm or something to
Either
get a
champion,
feel for what they're
skirmisher,
doing.
Or if you feel like you have enough time, you could theoretically go Elephant Archer, but that takes like an extra 2 minutes
Yeah.
versus the Wrathhead. Like that's such a big investment.
And that's the beauty of this push, though, right? Like, Kingston didn't allow Capoch any time. And he didn't give Capoch any type of position. He took it from him. So, well played to Kingston. He gets his first win, $40, but he's going to be wanting his second win. And Capoch and Kingston, after their first game... This is kind of funny, but this is pro Age of Empires for you. They had to talk about servers. I guess in the first game, Kingston was like, what's your ping? Capoch told him there's a difference. So they did Kingston server for this game. And Capoch said, hey, we need a coin flip for the third game for server. And JBR did the coin flip. He assigned heads to Capoch and tails to Kingston. And then it was heads. Now, I have to ask JBR, was this like a virtual coin flip, like coinflip.com, if that even exists, or did he actually get a coin? I'm curious. But we'll be Capoch's server for the third game, if that's interesting to anybody. All right, well, here we are. First thing I want to look at is, like, is there a clear path in my mind for Capoch to do what he had done against Miguel, and for Capoch to do what I've known him to do on this map, and just send a villager to a pond? And he'd have to scout it first, obviously, Dave, but I could absolutely see him on that left side just sneaking a vill early feudal age onto Kingston's pond. But Japanese Byzantines, maybe you got to think twice about being aggressive against the Japanese fishing ships, as they have so much armor. And maybe you need to shift your focus more towards land defense, because what I like to see with the Japanese, the play that I think has the highest probability of success, is starting off with fish. Obviously, they're all going to do that. And then going man-at-arm range, man. You got to have land aggression and delay the fish aggression, I think, with Japanese.
Also, keep tabs on your pond at home, because if you even like with Japanese, your fishing ships can withstand a little bit of damage from the fire galleys, and that's probably what the Byzantines are going to open with. But you need to get your fire galley production started before they do, because they can win the 1-to-1 trades. So even if you can't deny it, if you see that dot going up, you can start a fire galley coming out, and you should be in a decent enough position. Kingston's wood line, slightly concerning. Like, he's got the one forward, and then has to go so far back for the other one.
It is interesting. You've got a pretty sizable chunk of wood that Kingston's scout is next to right now. And, to the south of that, you've got a gold from Kingston. To the right of that, you have a stone from Capoch. To the left of that, you've got another gold. Like, that middle area. And it's not too far for these guys to travel to get to the middle. It's going to be really important to control. But yeah, Capoch, he's always really quick to feudal age. And again, when he played against Miguel, I think Miguel was Japanese. No. Capoch was Lithuanians, though, which allowed him to do it. But as Capoch forgot his boar, that's going to slow him down a little bit. He's always quick to scout, always quick to try and dock somebody's pond. That's his thing. Kingston's game on Arabia-style maps is always man-at-arm archer. Man-at-arm archer. He's like a mini version of like Leary and whatnot. So I really would love to see him send a lot onto wood here and try and go man-at-arm archer. People saying
exploring Capoch's base now.
Stealing this boar is probably a bad idea.
It's not
but
worth.
I could see it delaying Capoch. But yeah, is it worth it to have a weaker scout then? Oh, it is worth it to delay the dock. But he doesn't know the other villagers are close by. So Kingston's going to be disappointed now.
Still, you can delay it. You can be very annoying.
Yeah.
This is going to mess up the build a little bit, right?
That's true. Japanese always have the dock up a little bit faster. Kingston already has his vill walled in and is making his first fishing ship. Kingston might actually double back to try and block the villager who's bringing in that boar. So maybe that's the way to do it. A bit weird to me that Capoch isn't taking that yet.
Honestly, Capoch is going out to take it now. Kingston, he'll see the villager. He'll see the villager. Now Capoch is going to have to get loom or send another vill or come back with his scout. Very, very annoying here. Great start for Kingston to this game.
1 second, go ahead.
It's a great start for Kingston to this game. I think it's good. Hello?
Sorry. Were you saying hello to me, or were you saying hello to whatever just happened?
I was saying hello to you.
Oh, sorry. No. I had to answer a question. We're good.
Okay.
It was one of the classics. Like, she poked her head in the room to say something, but she didn't want to interrupt, so she was really quiet. But then I can't hear already.
Tell her it's your Dave time, all right? She'll understand.
No.
We need quality time together.
Scout attacking, and that could be a villager kill. But all in all, I think Kingston's just going to wait to the last moment here.
Yeah.
And he's just going to pull that villager back. Look at what he's prepping to do against Capoch here. Does he know what Capoch likes to do or what? Because he's trying to full wall in his pond.
Well, I mean, he saw the easy wall on the left. It's paused for me. I think it should be paused for you, right?
Yeah, we're still going now.
And if he walls in on the right, then Capoch can't really get in there with a vill to contest that. However, there's still a giant gap on the left in between those two wood lines. So see if he Tries to go for the wall there. It's
Capoch,
logical.
Capoch is already bringing a Vil. Like, that villager's on the way. He's not even on the way to feudal age yet.
But now he's housed, so he can't. And he should already be on the way to feudal age, probably. But the boar, the late dock, probably messed him up a little bit.
Yeah, I could see it. And he might even change his strat now because he will see how much his opponent's committing to the walls. However, did he see the villager go to the right side there? I think he did. And this is where the scouts are going to become very important. You can tell Kingston's like, actually, let's not do this. But, I'll say this, Dave. Like, I'd mentioned it before. I would have loved to see an aggressive opening on land. You're using a lot of wood and villager time to just wall. And you're absolutely not going to be able to afford man-at-arms or any type of pressure now.
Same time, that's probably what Capoch would expect from Kingston, right? He'll see the wall on the right side. Doesn't know about the huge wall on the left yet. And he's still looping around with that Vil.
Mm-hmm.
If he knew about the walls, he would probably just dock this pond on the left and try and get fishing ships out. And that's exactly what he's doing. Interesting.
They're both kind of playing a similar game here, aren't they?
Yeah.
Wall and fish. And I guess in some ways you could say that the Japanese should be better off because their ability to fish. But Kingston he's not taking the gold in the back. He's going to take the forward gold. And if Capoch might find him, it's going to be awkward here, to say the least.
Capoch is sending the scout over to look for the docks. Kingston, goes for the dock right now. Walls his villager in. Doesn't see the dock from Capoch. But Capoch has a scout over here. So does Kingston, actually.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
They see the docks at the same time. Yeah, Capoch notices the dock, and Kingston notices the dock from Capoch. Great stuff.
I wonder if this is an opportunity to send a Vil to the right for both players, because you're not really going to be fishing on the left. I think it's probably too costly right now to do that. But man, are these scouts important. And Capoch is going to win that scout fight. Oh, man.
He's just going to delete that dock?
What?
No.
That's a misclick.
And he leaves with the... What? No, he deletes it.
What? Wasn't that at like 50%?
Forcing him to invest in a fire ship, chatting.
Like, Capoch is going to be so confused. He saw a foundation there. This is never a thing.
Yep.
But, Dave, what I love is Capoch is played to his strengths, played with walls and fish. He also has added more fishing ships at home. He's just continually adding fishing ships. He's at 7 now in his starting pond.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to go 2 docks on the left side when his opponent has 0 docks.
Watch him actually invest into like 4 fire galleys. Who deletes the dock at 50%? Who does that? Honestly.
How patient will
never
he be?
Expect it. Bro, he's going to get some ships stuck in there too, probably. Oh, it'll just be like, man,
he's producing 3 fires.
Actually, amazing play here from Kingston, unintentionally. Capoch is going to see the dock over on the other side, be like, bro, how does he afford this?
Yeah, now you've got the scout dead for Kingston. He does go double docks on the right. Now, does he delete this foundation? Probably not.
Here come the fires from Capoch.
Capoch, cancel it. Cancel it. If you cancel this one, you feel, okay, he cancels it.
Yeah, there we go.
Listen, I know it's funny. I just feel like it's just not great, right? And now Capoch could just double fish boom there. It's not bad for Capoch.
From Kingston on the right side. And, well, the dock's up faster.
Oh, kill the scout. Oh, weakens the scout. That's nice.
You know what's funny here, Tristan? If you go for the galley and you put it in between your docks, unless Capoch also wants to strand a fire galley inside there, your galley is like invulnerable.
Oh my goodness. Did you see that wall from Capoch?
Yeah,
he saved that Vil, so now he can get his dock up.
I think you put the galley in between these docks. I think that's the key.
I think you just had
Don't pop it out on the other side. No, because you're going to kill his dock anyway. You've got a galley coming out either way. You put it in between, Kingston.
No.
No, dude.
No.
In between.
I see what you mean now. For a second, I thought you were talking about Capoch putting a galley in between his docks.
No.
Dude, look at the fish boom. 14 fishing ships versus 8. Capoch knows how to play this map. Has had a really good game plan. The only thing I'll say, though, is Kingston's got archers. So, if he could use those archers to somehow do some damage to Capoch on land, if there's a hole in a wall, Capoch could maybe start falling apart. But Capoch is too smart for that. And he knows exactly what he needs to do here, and he'll head up to Castle Age faster. He doesn't need a market to buy resources or anything like we're seeing from Kingston. Just pure fish boom. And that's
like we said in Castle Age,
crazy.
I mean, Byzantines, pretty good options, right?
Yeah, and you've now got fish boom. It's not like you gave up water to go faster Castle Age. You actually have the superior economy, so you can produce knights even, as we see a stable for Capoch. You can go for elite skirm, which is also very cheap, and you can just boom.
This walling system from Kingston, it's something else, man.
I think at the very least it shows that he's not as comfortable on this map.
Yeah.
And I also think that, you know, he is playing towards Capoch's strengths, which, at least as the civilization's concerned, is just not what Japanese want to be doing.
So he hasn't invested anything more than 3 fires and a galley on that pond to the right. The dock is going down, so the fire galleys will pop out.
Yeah.
However, they are Byzantine fire galleys, so needs to be very careful. Oh, he had another one coming out of the other dock. Okay, should be fine here.
Yep.
Should be fine. Good investment from Kingston.
That's good. Like, obviously getting over here and seeing all this has been very helpful for him.
Yeah.
And that's something that Capoch isn't going to love. Oh, there is also a hole at Capoch's base next to the
Yeah,
stable.
what? He just phased his way through that wall. And
How did
she
that-
somehow hit the
How?
house above the spearman.
Yeah.
I don't... Interdimensional things going on over there. There's also a palisade inside of 4 other buildings. So I don't know. I don't know what is happening on that wall off. But Capoch is sending another villager over to the right side. He's just going to
really
simply
good.
redock there.
Yep. Again, it's like, look at Capoch's scout, right? He's got a 3 HP scout. He's seen all the pawns. He knows exactly what he needs to do.
But he pulls the ships over from Kingston. Kingston sees that. He can bring the galley over. Maybe deny that he doesn't notice. Okay.
No, he doesn't. And it also keeps Capoch's other dock producing the next ship. So good.
He does notice. He does notice. He does notice, Tristan.
Oh, Capoch doesn't notice now. I think
he
Capoch
does.
had probably told that villager to go repair after building the dock. And when she got hit, she forgot her first task, and I would too. Oh! Go, lady, go! Micro, Capoch! Micro! Oh. This is bad. Wait, next
The
fire
scout
galley?
is coming in for the kill. He's going to distract
Next
the
fire galley?
The galley with the fire galley's coming in. Spearman's coming
Aw.
over, though. It's not over yet, folks. One more tap, and the dock is up. The villager will die, but the dock will go up, and that's really annoying.
And just look at the resources for Kingston. He can't afford to go for the war galley upgrade. So you're going to have this Byzantine dock on the right, just streaming fires into your fishing eco. There's actually 2 docks. Will it still be 2 docks? That dock's on 5 HP. Kingston, take out the dock, bro.
The dock will die. The dock will die.
Okay.
Die, the dock will.
All
it
right,
is.
there you go.
But then his fish are all going to die to the fires from Capoch.
Yeah, and you know, Capoch, he does have the crossbows to worry about, but he's got the knights in the middle of the map with +2 armor because of all this fish booming. And there's not that many crossbowmen right now for Kingston. 4 knights should be able to take a semi-decent engagement. Normally you want to wait a bit more, but these knights are just going to move around and keep these crossbows in the middle of the map, as maybe Capoch plans on booming. 2 TCs for him. We do also have a second TC for Kingston on the left. It's like really hidden away there. But big long-term issues for him, I think, in terms of the booming, but also just the civ. Like, Byzantines are a fantastic matchup with what options they have against the Japanese.
Capoch, it must be said, Capoch is running out of fish in the top pond. It's
Yep,
gone.
that's true. Yep.
Left side pond, kind of running out. He's got a few left over. And Kingston is going to gain control of the right pond. And Kingston still has some fish left over in his main pond. So Capoch will have to start adding fish traps. Kingston gets the walls down against the knights. And the villager count still fairly even at this point. So.
Also, Kingston's being very aggressive here. Now, for all he knows, there's siege being created in that siege workshop. There's actually not. Capoch is low on gold. But it does seem like Capoch is waiting for the gold to make siege. So
Kingston's like got the mental timer in his head, right? If he started producing a mangonel when I first came in, I only have so much time left.
Is this a quick wall attempt from Kingston on the Knights, or no? It's just Villager just decided to go that way.
Once again, another tricky hill to wall.
Yep.
You never quite know if there's going to be a hole there. Apparently there isn't. And he still has his crossbows alive at the front, Tristan. And now Capoch is in a position where he has 17 fishing ships, but 10 of those are collecting a shorefish in the corner
Yeah.
of the pond.
Yeah, I mean, it's easier said than done, but should be an opportunity for a bunch of fish traps now for Capoch. And if you don't realize
what
it,
is
sometimes
TC for Capoch?
it's a confident TC. He knows, man. He's got 10 knights. His opponent has 10 crossbows. He's got monks. He's got siege. And I think this is also confident play from Capoch. Just attacking the walls. It's like, okay, you don't have monks yet, I guess. There are your crossbows. Okay, guess I'll run right into them. You'll loop away. No ballistics for Kingston, which is fairly uncommon on this map because you're doing so many other things with your wood. But it is 3 TCs for Kingston, and he's been really fast at this transition. So his eco's not as bad as I thought it would be.
Also a nice castle target if he does end up seeing it.
Yeah. There's the fish
And
traps,
he's
by the
halfway
way,
to a castle right now.
for Capoch in the north. So thinking about that, which is so important. So complicated to play this map. Both players made it look fairly easy, 13 to 12 KD. Capoch did lose his dock on the right, but he's now going to go over and just try and attack the dock with his knights, which I don't hate, actually.
Uh-oh. Crossbows. Kingston. Okay, noticed this right away. He's going to pull away.
Look at the vision for Capoch. On the left, he's built houses and an outpost. But then
Byzantines,
from
man.
his TC and everything else, yeah, it's really hard to make mistakes.
Wild. I actually checked the res collected. It's not that different. You would think it was a lot more. It's only like 300 difference between these two.
Yeah, it's a good point. A lot more gold. Well, not even a lot more gold.
Wheelbarrow's been in for a while for Kingston too. And
Yeah.
It's not in for Capoch, so it's a nice little difference. Also has that second wood upgrade, which you got not too long ago. Demo is out from Kingston. Where is that? He could demo the Knights. Get some
Yeah, he
value.
does
and
have
the
it. He's
Cav
also-
archers are heading over.
Added a couple cav archers. I mean, losing that dock's not a big deal because you still have the
Yeah,
other
no.
dock for your fist to drop off food. The big concern now is like, how do you deal with all this siege pressure coming in from Capoch? And this is that area of the map we talked about. Maybe Kingston planning on a more defensive castle, where if he takes a good fight, he could even go for an offensive castle right on that TC. So he might wait a little bit for that.
Another dock here from
Capoch.
Capoch.
Kingston might
Does the
actually
demo know
spot
it?
it. He
Demo?
will see it, but it's
War galley
attacking
coming
the
in?
dock.
Does
Oh
know
man, this is tricky, right? Because you're so worried about the front and you're thinking about a castle drop.
He does notice. He's sending the demos over to try and get the Knights. He can find a good
Oh!
spot there.
Where's it going? Boom! That's a good shot.
That's not too bad.
Middle of the map is a problem. There's a big problem here. But the population close, Dave. I mean, what a great job it's been from Kingston to lose the water a bit, but, you know, come back and fighting, obviously, with we think a worse civilization at this stage is Capoch micros, and Kingston does too. That's a really weak mangonel. Kingston needs a shot. Capoch needs a shot.
gonna get
Capoch
it.
doesn't get the mangonel.
Kingston keeps his alive, but not for very long. That Knight will charge in, take it, but he does sacrifice the Knight. It was good to get something there from Kingston.
Yeah.
It was kind of like really close quarters micro to save the mangonel in the first place. I didn't think he was going to do it, but the Knight's now finding a hole on the other side. Capoch is making himself a new hole, I guess, in the base.
Yeah, he probably was not expecting there to be one, and both players are going to want a castle. You know, Kingston's had the stone for it, but you don't want to drop a defensive castle here. You know that the middle position matters so much more than anything else, but Capoch's is absolutely going to go up. He's just got so much control, and oh, the Knights. Kingston hasn't realized. They're getting villager kill after villager kill there. The pikemen can't compete against the siege. And also,
Capoch almost killed his own castle foundation, attacking a spearman with his mangonel.
oh, I missed that.
That's why I gasped. But look at the Knights. They're still killing, dude. 16 kills. 15 villager kills over there on the gold. Kingston is now significantly behind in Vills. He goes for a castle of his own to the left. The Knights are here, though. He needs to cancel that. And I think he's realizing it's done.
Yep. I mean, pikeman switch makes sense against knights, but then Capoch always had monks and siege. And Capoch, early recognition with the pawns, early transitions into everything else. And the guys just played amazing cross. Like, there's a reason this is his home map.
Yep.
And the difference in the series is sometimes the first game, because that's no one's home map. That's just the starter of the series that both players have kind of agreed not to ban. And what a game that was, obviously. But, I mean, this has just been all Capoch. It's been a good game from Kingston, but more Knights killing villagers and more control here coming for the Argentinian.
This is just Capoch's map. And, like, all the little things he's doing here, right? Contesting the pawns, even if he doesn't win out the end, forces the contest, and he's got Kingston completely trapped in the corner here. He's got outposts on every side.
Yep.
Full vision. If any sneaky stuff comes out from Kingston, he'll know. Killing a couple additional villagers, still has the Knights, and to reach Imperial Age, Kingston will have not even clicked up yet.
Yeah, and there's just another castle on the right side for Capoch, and I think the GG, if it's not called before Imp, will most definitely be called once Capoch makes it to the Imperial Age here. Capoch makes this map look so easy, though. He's so good. And I think he had to change his game plan here. Remember, he usually tries to sneak the Vil. He was very active with his scout to try and get a dock up in Kingston's Pond. And then he said, oh, that's not going to work out. We'll just shift over to the left side. And we laughed about it. But Kingston not being competitive there on the left just gave Capoch that area.
Yep.
And allowed him to get that big lead, which led to everything else, I think, in early castle. And again, like, you know, you're already not winning fights. I think Kingston's going to be a little dejected here, but I think you've got to realize that once those trebs come out, man, you're going to lose all your castles here.
He's also making the switch into Arbalest already. Capoch reaches Imp, and Kingston, he doesn't tap out. He clicks up himself, goes into skirms. He knows what's coming, but the Knights, they're coming in again.
Yep. And it's not really a unit you need in the long run, right? Like, these Knights have got a lot of value. I like how Capoch wasn't really hesitant to make Knights. He just thought, even though my civilization doesn't get bloodlines, +2 Knights are still really good. And it's going to be helpful for me to have control. And I'm going to have the extra food, so why not? And now he's switching into units which make a little bit more sense for Byzantines in terms of their tech tree.
By the time Kingston gets up, Capoch is going to have like 15, 20 crossbows with trebs behind.
Yep.
Maybe getting the Arbalest upgrade earlier. And Kingston, realizes that. He says, GG, well played. Capoch takes that one. You're right. Like, Capoch makes this map look so easy. It's crazy. All the little things he does. He never gives up on any pond unless it's completely unobtainable, like the one at the back of Kingston's base. He will always keep contesting. He will always have vision. And, Kingston just looks like there was nothing he could do there.
Yeah, I mean, you could say, though, it was still a really close series. Kingston, he put up more of a fight here and made this closer than maybe Kingston's home map looked for Capoch. Like, Capoch looked like a fish out of water there in Regicide Fortress. And then game one was back and forth and could have been anyone's game. So you had both players understanding their home maps and what they need to do on it. Capoch, perhaps a little bit more well-equipped for the neutral map, you could say. And so Kingston, still, he's got a lot of work to do. He now has one win after 2 rounds, but has to play Jordan, Miguel, and Ganji. And so, currently that relegation conversation is probably between Ganji, Miguel, and Kingston. Yeah. And they've all got to play each other, right? And then at the top of Group C, you've got Capoch, Hera, and Jordan, who all have to run into each other as well. So really interesting events in Group C. Really close group. And yet again, I'm just like, I have to admire Capoch's consistency. Anytime he's playing in a tournament, he always brings the same level. He never has a bad game where you're like, oh my God, that was so bad, right? Like, what was he doing? At least in game number 2, he still had like 3 relics. He still had like 130, 140 villagers. He's just so good. But yeah, GG, it was a fun series there. End of Group C for a week, actually. That was cool, actually, how our live sets for the day were 3 from the same exact group.
Were they all Group C?
Yeah, all Group C.
Cool.
So that was cool.